Hey guys, welcome back to Top 10 Gaming. I'm your host Lucy McPhee, and we're jumping back over to the world of creepypastas today, this time focusing on the beloved Pokemon Charmander, with our list of the scariest Charmander Creepypasta, Dying of the Light. Let's jump right in. The Dying of the Light was uploaded to the Creepypasta wiki. This creepypasta begins with the uploader discussing how many players of the second gen games were attempting to discover glitches that they could exploit in order to obtain one of the rare and shiny Pokemon. They weren't a fan of this tactic, opting for the classic route of discovering their rare friends on their own, and that they did. On one particular occasion they came across a rare Ursa ring, naming it Chernobyl, being inspired by its nuclear waste green colouring. They'd caught the furry friend after playing for years and were overjoyed when they finally did, wondering how any player could possibly taint such a feeling by punching in a code to catch one. But then the player discovered the art of soft resetting. It wasn't technically cheating, so they didn't feel too bad. They also weren't a huge fan of their Ursa ring due to the stat levels in relation to their other Pokemon. So while their Ursa ring was resting in a box in Soul Silver, the players started up their DS, booting up a copy of Leaf Green that they had borrowed from a friend. They named their rival and their own player a boy they dubbed Jace, despite their own gender. They stood in front of the table that held the 3 Pokeballs, moving to the last one and opening it up. It contained a Charmander. Overjoyed, the Charmander leapt in place on the screen. The player smiled, having usually got Squirtle when they were younger. The Charmander was cute, and they couldn't deny how awesome a shiny Charizard would look fronting their team. The player then inputted a combination. LRAB, start and select. The first combo was pressed, giving way to countless more afterward. They began their mission, hitting the same combinations of buttons for a few hours, but to no avail. They continued on like this for days, so determined to get that shiny Pokemon they so desired, but still to no avail. They must have gone through about 8,000 ordinary Charmanders until one morning something caught their attention. The orange colour they had become oh so familiar with was now replaced by a soft shade of yellow, and a tiny adorable lizard. They saved the game. They did it. It was a girl, so they opted to name it Tiamat. The time had finally come to battle Blue and his Squirtle. The player's Charmander came out. Her gold back and red flame were momentarily surrounded by a ring of tiny sparkles. The battle went down pretty quickly and the player emerged victorious. Charmander now at level 6. They saved the game again, for a good measure, creating a new save file so Tiamat could remain safe. The next battle was against a Pidgey. However, this time something was off. The player heard a scratching sound, the same scratching sound they had heard in their first battle, followed by the stats indicator being lowered. They hadn't used Scratch, neither had the Pidgey. Actually, neither of them had used any moves at all. Not only that, but they noticed some HP fell from the Charmander's tail. They didn't have time to think about it too much though, as the Pidgey suddenly fled, ending the battle. Following the battle, things appeared to be somewhat normal. Jace was standing amidst the grass, looking upbeat, music playing, as though nothing out of the ordinary had just occurred a few moments ago. Concerned, the player opened the Pokemon menu to check on their Charmander, feeling particularly uneasy. Charmander was there just as she always had, green eyes shining, donning a grin. However, the player noticed something they hadn't before. The colour at the top of her head looked slightly off. It was just a single pixel, but it was there. It looked as though the yellow had been in the sun and there was a little bleached. Shrugging it off, they exited the menu, playing on and encountering another wild Pokemon, this time a Rattata. Once again, the sound of scratching appeared as well as the dropping of stats. The player's Charmander dropping HP a little more too. As this happened, the strange bleaching on top of the head spread a little. The yellow appeared to not be fading, but disappearing altogether, being replaced by pure white. Then the Rattata fled. The player didn't move. They knew something was wrong, that perhaps this was more than just a glitch. A thought came to them. This wasn't their game, and perhaps all of the soft resetting they had done must have screwed up the cartridge. Realizing they would have to tell their friend that they had destroyed their game. However, their train of thought was interrupted by the sound of battle music. Another Pidgey appeared. Once again, the scratching noise blared, and pixels began to disappear. All the player could do was watch it happen. As it always did, a text box appeared stating that the Pokemon had fled. However, the battle scene didn't fade away like it always did. Another Rattata simply slid into place. The same thing happened again. Unsettling noises and HP and colour disappeared. Then in quick succession text boxes appeared stating Wild Rattata fled, Wild Pidgey appeared, Wild Pidgey fled, Wild Pidgey appeared, Wild Pidgey fled, Wild Rattata appeared. Wild Rattata fled. Charmander's HP decreasing faster and faster as it went on, her colour draining like sand in an hourglass, revealing ghostly white beneath. They tried to restart their DS, but the game seemed to be frozen in a terrifying loop. The player yelled, "Stop it!" and surprisingly, it worked. They stared at the screen. Their Charmander's health had reached 1, his skin the colour of bone. The field was now empty. Then a text box popped up stating, "Wild Charmander appeared." It was almost too shiny, with a patch of yellow around its stomach. It merged with the first, becoming a hideous monster. Charmanders then began appearing in quick succession, each one merging with the next. There were even bones sticking out of some of their bodies, rotting in place. Through it all, there was just 1 HP bar for the massive broken bodies. Then a phrase began to be spelled out. "Do you want me now?" The DS started shaking in the player's hands. They tried desperately to shut off the DS but wouldn't stop. The phrase kept appearing and the Charmanders kept merging. Then out of nowhere, it all just stopped. The hideous mass just stood there. Its HP was now 7,597. Then the player's Charizard turned to them, letting out a low cry. Her mouth a black void dripping red, and then text flashed below. "Once me used revenge," then a single deafening roar. The screen then flashed to black. The player ripped the cartridge out, almost breaking it in the process. A few days later they bought a new copy of Leaf Green for their friend, not telling them what had occurred, and opting to smash the old cartridge so no one would ever have to play it again. Well, there we have it. What did you guys think of this creepypasta? Did it scare you? Are there others out there you would like us to read out on our channel? Leave us all your thoughts and feelings in the comments down below. If you haven't already, be sure to give this video a big thumbs up, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss another gaming vid. And until next time, see you later.